Welcome everyone to our Posh podcast, and I want to welcome my daughter Marcella, my co-host.
Hello.
And Spider, our fearless DJ.
Hello.
And my name is Gabrielle, and I'm introducing to you guys today our special guest Frankie.
Hi, happy to be back.
He was a guest on our show right before we got video, the real video. Episodes, was it 28 and 29?
28, 29.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun.
Yes.
We learned a lot of things. And
well, when I was here, I left you speechless. So that's the goal
You
for today,
left
to
me
leave you speechless again.
I know.
That's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often, but I was so speechless because I didn't know so many things about you. And I was, and we had since actually had people listening to your show that then wanted to help out with your program.
Oh, good.
And the place you go to with the homeless and all that there's someone that wants to help. They want to get in touch with you. So.
And I've things have slowed down a little on that front for me since last time I was here. I've been focusing more on my primary business with the special needs folks, but things are settling down a little bit, so I'm hoping to pick that up again.
Yeah, but
spring.
it's just like you have such an outreach of people wanting to help
Good.
and do that with you.
Good. So hopefully we can put my information up so folks can
get
reach
in
out
touch
to
with
me.
you. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So
Love
cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
So give us a little bit of an update since you were here. I want everyone to know that Frankie is a recovering alcoholic.
Correct.
And you're still going strong in your sobriety, correct?
Yes, still going strong. There are certain areas that I still struggle with, I think. I think that, having an addicting brain or addictive brain, not sure what's the term, my brain is constantly looking for something else to fixate on. And I have to remain vigilant, if you will, to that, because any addiction really can be really bad.
Right.
Whether it's, an addiction to fitness, I can injure myself. An addiction to work, I'll be forever alone.
Right.
An addiction to boys, I'd be a complete slut. So it's been tough. It's been tough trying to find a balance, but I think I'm at a place now where I'm learning to be lenient with myself. So to recognize that I am not where I want to be. I'm not at the finish line yet, but I'm not where I was a year ago. So there are days when I'm a perfectionist. Okay, I'm a perfectionist, and there are days when I go in on myself. Like, you should have known this. You should have expected that. You should have been better prepared. But then in that same breath, I'll say to myself, "But you caught it. You catch yourself talking to yourself this way now. So good job."
But
then the other part of me is still kicking my butt. But it's an internal struggle that's what I'm struggling with now.
I think
really.
we all do that a little bit, but I think when you're a little harder on yourself than some.
Yeah.
So you need to be kind to yourself.
And that's what I'm learning to do. I grew up, I'm a perfectionist. 1, I'm Catholic. 2, which means I want to be a perfect Catholic. I'm gay. I want to be a perfect gay. I'm an immigrant. I want to be a perfect immigrant.
Oh, I have 2 out of those.
Yeah.
Well, I'm former Catholic, not anymore.
Okay. And I want to be, and I'm a middle child. So I want to be a perfect middle child. So as I sit and analyze my life, I'm like, well, no wonder I'm an alcoholic. I want it to be all these things that don't necessarily go hand in hand. And I have to learn a way to marry all those aspects of my life.
Right.
To not go crazy.
Not go crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, and you're really big in the work CrossFit.
I am.
Yes.
Yes.
And are you teaching?
I coach. Yeah.
Okay.
I coach.
Coach.
Yeah. I'm a CrossFit level 1 trainer.
Okay.
And so I coach every Wednesday. I love CrossFit because, I get to go there and sort of release all my stress when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
The clanking of the weights, the throwing of objects, the climbing odd objects. It is a good stress reliever for me.
Yeah.
You know, like if I want to cuss somebody out at the office or
can't.
something, I can't, but I'll go and throw some weights around.
And
because
you
that's
feel
what
better.
you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you feel so much better because that's, and that's really a lot of what CrossFit is. We kind of throw and move odd objects around.
Yeah. The guy I'm dating right now says that CrossFit is by far the best workout you could do, and you'll feel so young that it is a whole body, and it will make you realize how push your body to limits that you never thought you could.
Absolutely. I feel like, every CrossFit workout is a full body workout. We don't isolate muscles and work on a certain muscle. We rarely do that. Our workouts are always intended to really activate every part of the body. And what I find most interesting is that when we have these workouts that are lightweight workouts, those are the worst because you're about to suffer because that means you've got to go fast. And then there are workouts where the movements are completely dull.
Okay.
And you're just like, oh my God. And then you realize, oh, this is a mental workout. This isn't about the body right now. This is about the brain where I know that my task is to finish this, that I've got to keep going for 45 minutes. I've got to keep doing this repetitive movement for 45 minutes. And, 15 minutes in, you're like, I'm done. but then there's that other part of you that's saying, wait, hold on. We don't quit, remember? So, the other day we did a workout. I forget the name of it. It became an unofficial hero workout. And what a hero workout is when somebody in the military or active duty or, is killed in the line of duty, they usually do a workout and name it after that person.
Really? Oh, wow.
And so this fella that was Army or Navy, I forget, he committed suicide. And so he used to strap on a backpack with a 20-pound backpack and then just do steps, So the minds at CrossFit came up with the workout where you strap on 20 pounds, or is it 40? 20 or 40, 20 for the ladies, 40 for the gentlemen. And it's 1,000 step-ups.
Holy moly.
And you're just doing steps for 1,000 minutes. You're climbing, a box that's about 48 or, 48 inches tall. And that's all you're doing. It took me an hour and 15 minutes, and it's exhausting mentally.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're just there doing the exact same movement over and over and over
and
again.
counting.
Yeah, they said that it's they took the Navy SEALs, were the greatest, fittest people, and they made it into that's why he wants me to do it with him, but I'm like, I don't think I can do it. He goes, no, you need to do it with me. He said it just he's never felt more.
Well, the thing about a
alive.
workout like that is that it's not exhausting while you're doing it physically.
Yeah.
It's mentally exhausting. The next morning you wake up and you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
And then do you go right back? Is this something you do every day?
You go back the next day.
Every day,
The best
7
way to
days?
get rid of soreness is to do another workout.
And do you do 7 days a week?
I do. Right now I'm doing 5 days a week. So I rest on Mondays and Tuesdays. But rest doesn't really mean rest in CrossFit. Rest means, if you were to do 95 pounds during a normal workout, you'll do 65 pounds. So rest means it's active rest.
Okay.
You treat it more like cardio than you do actual weightlifting or whatnot. So
Dang.
that's what rest is. It's active recovery.
And that has to, that if anything, that is a healthier addiction than
for sure,
else.
for sure. But I, last time I was here, I had just been injured, so I'm
That's right.
very mindful of that. I don't put any weight over my head that, I'm just not comfortable. If I'm not feeling it, I don't do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So would you say that is one of the things you're replacing, one of the things you're focusing on, not doing too much, or is it work, or what have you been struggling with the most?
Okay, well, I'll just be completely honest. My vice, if you will, or my temptation is to go boy crazy. I'm single and I'm getting in shape, and I get random compliments online, but I'm being very intentional about not going there.
So you're still single?
I'm still
I was
single.
about to ask that.
Well, I saw this cute picture of him with a guy, and I was like, I've been a couple. I have to show you. Oh my gosh! I was like, wait, what is this? I have to ask him because I was like, excuse me.
So you're not dating anybody.
I mean, I am dating, but I'm not.
Look how cute.
I love your jacket.
Thank
I
you.
know. You know exactly what I'm showing
I know exactly
her, right?
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are cute.
I know.
Thank you.
Spider.
I can see it.
Thank
I love that jacket.
Thank you.
Sequins are in for guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, and it was New Year's Eve, so
Yes.
sparkle a little bit. But
And this is the same one. I saw 2 pictures.
that's at the Elton John concert, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's cute.
Thank you. Yeah, he is.
Oh,
He's like, yeah, but so there's
But-
more.
Well, I mean, in my own recovery, I'm not dating anybody else. Like,
Okay.
we go on dates, weekly or whatever. But it's new for me in that, like, well, I can't drink to take the edge off. So if it's uncomfortable, I have to sit through it and just be like, God, this is uncomfortable.
I was just going to ask you how you deal with that on it, because everyone that's around you drinks.
Mm-hmm.
How do you I'm always so amazed because I don't know if you know, but I've had so many people that are alcoholics around me,
Mm-hmm.
and we always try to be helpful and then maybe not drink. But is that does that help you even, or no?
No, really, the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, because we do have a book. It's about this big, and it's called the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, actually says that a person that is spiritually fit can go anywhere and not be tempted by what surrounds them.
Wow.
And so I go to great lengths to remain spiritually fit so that I'm not tempted. You could have your bottle of, whatever, and I could just be like, no, not my thing anymore. So a lot of my friends know, that I don't drink anymore. So, if we're somewhere and they show up with a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of vodka or whatever, they generally show up with the 6-pack of Topo Chico too, and so they support me in that regard.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I also have friends that, if because it's happened once where I was accidentally poured a drink with alcohol in it, despite me saying no alcohol. I always make it a point to say no alcohol. So my friends actually test my drinks for me sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So like if we're at dinner
Mm-hmm.
and, I ordered this Topo Chico. No, it was they had a mango margarita, and I said, that sounds so delicious, but I don't drink. Can you just mix the mango with something? So yeah, I got you. So she mixed the mango for me, and my friend's like, let me test that for you before you. I'm like, lovely, this is excellent. So they'll taste test for me. And they're like,
Nice.
green light.
Nice.
So it's a very
So
supportive group.
nice.
It's a very supportive group. But I think I've only had one case where I had to say to somebody, do you mind taking that elsewhere? Because I could smell it, and it smells really delicious. So, but that's the spiritual fitness, that you can identify that that's not good for me, so I better push it away or remove myself from it.
So when you said you going on a date, and now if it's like where you would usually have a drink to take the edge off, now what do you do?
It's so fucking awkward. It is so awkward because, it's been really nice with this guy. He's very patient, and he knows my situation, so he's extremely patient. And for me, well, I'm not a patient person. So alcohol always helped me with that, because I was like, boom, let's get in, let's do this, done.
Yeah.
And now it's like, that episode in Dancing Queen where they're having and talking about mustard?
Yes.
We've had one or two of those dates, and it's just like, oh God. But I really don't know how to date sober. I'm learning. And I think he recognizes that.
Oh,
And
wow.
because he's like, okay, let's just, no big deal. Tonight we were off. No big deal.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
What a
but
nice
it's,
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really is very patient, very, very understanding. He knows my situation. And he's just like,
Well, you're an entrepreneur too, and I know that is a lot. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are like that,
yeah.
and they are completely different drinking and when they're not drinking.
Yeah.
Like it's like night and day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And sometimes it can get really awkward, even when I'm not dating these people, but even for us, like having conversations, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine how hard that is when you were used to it.
Oh my God, it was so strange to be alone with a guy. Because remember, I was drinking, and I was in a relationship for 7 years. So I'm getting back into
right.
the dating game sober
Sober.
after 7 years in a relationship for 7 years. So it's like, okay, one, I don't know how to date anymore, and two, I don't drink. So this is like way different.
Right.
It's I'm having to learn it all over again, and
Right.
I maybe not learn it all over again. I think what sobriety has given me is the opportunity to make my own rules. So I don't think I'm relearning how to date. It's just I'm deciding I'm okay with this, I'm not okay with that, and what I'm not okay with, I'm okay letting you know now. Whereas before, Frank would, the drunk Frank would be like, man, I'll drink it away and I'll be done. But now if I don't like something that you did or even something that I did, I'm gonna talk about it immediately instead of drink
so
about it.
Smart.
Yeah, you are so smart.
Gosh, so
And
smart.
it takes a lot of mental strength and self-control to really, I think, still go out and say no and do all this and feel the uncomfortable feelings and get through that. And it's really impressive because I don't know a lot of people who can do that, but it shows you how mentally strong or how you can be if you put your mind to it.
There was one instance where I think it was Pride weekend that I was meeting up with the group with the house and we were going to go out. And I remember that night getting ready and being like in a hurry. I need to eat something. I don't want to get too drunk. And then I stopped myself and I thought, wait a second. Let me call my sponsor really quick just to be on the safe side. I want to bounce this idea off of somebody else because what if it's something that I'm missing? Something like that is just staying alert. To a person that doesn't drink, I have to eat so I don't get too drunk. It makes sense. But to a person that's looking to actively not drink, that's a cause of concern because for a second I forgot that I don't drink.
That you don't drink.
Wow, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I had to, just get on the phone with my sponsor and just sort of.
So when you do that, what do you talk it through and then they give you tools?
This
what?
is what's strange about Alcoholics Anonymous that, well, one, we're anonymous, so I didn't just say that. But when Alcoholics Anonymous started, it kind of started off by accident, right? It was sort of this man that was an alcoholic and he knew he was going to die if he didn't stop drinking. And every treatment that he sought didn't work until one day he ended up in a room with another alcoholic and they started to talk.
Oh,
and that
I
was
don't
a
even
solution.
know this.
And that was a solution. It was that simple. One alcoholic talking to another alcoholic. We don't know what happens. We just know that the urge to drink, the anxiety, it just disappears. It goes away. And we don't know where that comes from. And the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous actually does a very good job of explaining this. This guy was trying to stop drinking and nothing would work.
Until
he was face to face with another alcoholic and they just
Because they understood
talked
each
about
other.
it. Yeah. Talked about it and it was the obsession to drink was removed.
Wow.
It's the strangest thing.
wow, I've never known that or even wondered how that. I think I just thought it has been there. I don't know. Or some psychologist
Didn't think about that.
started-
That
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
But that's really interesting.
Wow.
I correlate Alcoholics Anonymous a lot with religion. And I feel that as a Catholic man that, it's, where two are gathered in my name, I'm there in their presence. I feel that that's exactly what it is. And because you have two people who have a genuine desire to want to live and to want to be productive members of society. And you're not talking about two people who have their life together. You're talking quite the opposite. You're talking about the people who are generally marginalized, right? Who are either mentally or physically marginalized. A person that's an alcoholic, we often seclude ourselves and we often, everybody's over there and we're over here. Or even mentally, we could be physically with you, but our mind is,
Somewhere
I
else.
don't fit in here. I don't belong here, whatever. So, we are in a sense, the marginalized, whether it's we marginalized ourselves or society marginalized us. I do believe that when two of us come together, it is what Scripture says. I'm there in your presence because you have a desire to be what I called you to be, but you just don't understand that yet. You have something in you longing for something greater. That something greater, of course, is my God. But you just don't know that yet. But there I am in between both of you. And I think that's what it is, personally, as a Catholic man. I think that everybody with a different religion would have a different interpretation of it. But me as a Catholic man.
I think it goes, that would fit for all, I would think. That's really a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
And when you say you call a sponsor, is it always the same person?
I have one main sponsor that I communicate with, but I've got 10, 12 phone numbers on my phone, just in case one doesn't answer. Just in case one doesn't answer. Yeah, it's usually one main one that you work your way through the steps with, who gets to really know you.
And you call and you say, okay, I feel like I want to have a drink.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And then what do they say?
Well, it just depends. Okay, you just start talking about it.
Uh-huh.
You just start talking about it, and it's sort of one of those things where your sponsor ideally has more sobriety under their belt than you do, And you start talking about, well, let's talk what's going on.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on. And you begin to just
go
go through
through
your
it.
day, comb through your day, and then something just triggers like, it was that. It was that. Let me go apologize to that person because I mistreated them. Or so-and-so talked to me that way. Let me just clear the air with them. And
So
that's
is there
really what it's
is there
about.
an underlying trigger then typically, I guess? Like when you say that you figure it out once you start talking about it, there is usually
Generally, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
in AA, we say that the number one offender for relapses is resentments. So when we're carrying resentments around, that's really bad for us.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's really
What?
bad for us. So we go to great lengths to address resentments immediately. Immediately.
Wow.
So that we don't position ourselves to be spiritually unfit. Because
Wow.
resentments, I think, have the capacity to really create a storm in your soul. And so we don't want that storm in our soul.
No, for
So,
sure.
yeah, the minute we realize that we're carrying around a resentment, we go about fixing that. Or we should, if we want to remain spiritually fit. And remember that a spiritually fit person can go anywhere and not be triggered by what's surrounding them.
I feel like you're learning a lot and you
I'm
needed
learning
this
so much.
today.
Yeah, I'm learning so much. Unbelievable.